Imagine waking up every morning with an unshakable mindset, one that fuels you through challenges, keeps you focused on your goals, and helps you rise above every obstacle life throws your way. The truth is, life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you respond to it. Your mentality shapes your reality. And today, I'm going to share 10 powerful ways to strengthen your mentality so that nothing, no fear, no doubt, no setback, can stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. Let's get started. Your mindset is the single most important factor in shaping your life. It dictates the choices you make, the opportunities you see, and the way you respond to challenges. Yet, so many people live their lives believing their mindset is dictated by external forces, by their past, their environment, their circumstances, or even the opinions of others. But that is simply not true. The moment you decide to take full ownership of your mindset is the moment you take back control of your life. It's the moment you stop playing the role of the victim and start playing the role of the creator. And that shift changes everything. Let's get something straight. Life is not fair. Life doesn't hand out equal opportunities. Some people are born into wealth, others into poverty. Some people have supportive families. Others face unimaginable hardships. But regardless of where you start, one thing remains constant. You and only you are responsible for what happens next. Owning your mindset means refusing to let your past define you. It means understanding that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. Your thoughts are the foundation of your reality. What you choose to focus on, believe in, and act upon will ultimately shape the life you create. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She was born into poverty, she faced abuse, she had every reason to believe the world was against her. But she didn't. She chose a different path. She owned her story instead of letting it own her. She made the decision to rise above her circumstances, to believe in her own potential, to take action even when the odds were stacked against her. And look at what she built. Look at who she became. The truth is, most people don't take full responsibility for their mindset. They allow limiting beliefs to hold them back. They allow fear to dictate their choices. They tell themselves stories like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not lucky enough, or I'm not capable. And because they believe these things, they make decisions that reinforce those beliefs. But here's the thing, you can change your beliefs. You can rewire the way you think. And when you do, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change the results you get. That's the power of owning your mindset. Think of it like driving a car. If you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, focused on where you've been, you're going to crash. But if you're looking ahead, focused on where you want to go, you have the power to steer yourself in any direction. The same applies to life. If you keep reliving your failures, your mistakes, your disappointments, you'll stay stuck. But if you shift your focus forward, if you take responsibility for your thoughts and decisions, you'll start creating momentum. And yes, this is hard. It's hard to unlearn years of conditioning. It's hard to step outside of your comfort zone. It's hard to silence that inner critic that constantly tells you you're not good enough. But do you know what's even harder? Living a life where you never fully step into your potential. Living a life where you let fear and doubt keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. Every single day you have a choice. You can choose to wake up and dwell on your problems, or you can choose to wake up and take control of your thoughts. You can choose to make excuses, or you can choose to take action. You can choose to remain the same, or you can choose to grow. And that choice is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. So, how do you start owning your mindset? It begins with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. Notice the patterns. Are you constantly telling yourself that you're not capable? Are you always assuming the worst? Are you letting past failures dictate your future? Once you identify those negative thought patterns, you have the power to change them, challenge them, rewrite them, replace them with thoughts that empower you. Instead of saying, I can't, ask, what if I could? Instead of saying, I don't know how, ask, how can I figure it out? Instead of focusing on obstacles, focus on possibilities. And then take action. Because mindset alone is not enough. You have to back it up with action. You have to prove to yourself that you are capable. Start small if you have to. Take one step, then another, build momentum. And as you do, you'll start seeing the evidence of your growth. You'll start seeing the proof that you are in control. The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to believe in your own potential, to own your mindset fully, to refuse to let excuses, fear, or doubt hold you back. Because the life you want, the success you dream of, the person you aspire to be, it's all waiting for you. But you have to step up. You have to decide. You have to take responsibility for the one thing no one else can control, your mindset. The moment you do, everything changes. Your mind is the architect of your reality. Every thought you think, every word you utter, and every belief you hold shapes the world around you. The most powerful force that determines where you go in life is not the circumstances you were born into, not the opportunities that come your way, and not even the obstacles that stand in your path. It's the conversation happening inside your own head. Most people don't realize that the words they repeat to themselves day in and day out become the blueprint of their future. If you keep telling yourself, "I'm not good enough, I'll never figure this out," or "I always fail," your mind takes those words as instructions. It stops looking for solutions. It stops believing in possibilities. It starts building walls instead of opening doors. But the moment you decide to shift that narrative, to replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones, you change the game entirely. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed unstoppable? Someone who faced setback after setback but kept going, kept pushing, kept believing. That person isn't special. They aren't more talented, more privileged, or luckier than you. The only difference is the way they speak to themselves. They tell themselves, "I can handle this. I am capable. I am finding a way." And because they believe it, their mind starts searching for evidence to prove it true. Science backs this up. Researchers have studied the impact of self-talk on athletes, and the results are undeniable. Athletes who practiced positive self-talk, who visualized success and spoke powerful words to themselves, performed significantly better than those who didn't. Their bodies responded to their minds. Their muscles reacted to their beliefs. Their outcomes changed because they had already won the battle inside their heads before they ever stepped onto the field. This is not just about sports. This is about life. This is about the way you wake up every morning and face the day ahead. This is about the way you handle challenges, failures, and moments of doubt. If you keep reinforcing negativity, if you keep telling yourself that you are not enough, you are training your mind to accept defeat before you even try. But if you start feeding your mind with powerful words, you shift everything. Think of your inner dialogue like the GPS system of your life. If you punch in a destination that says, "I am stuck," guess what? You'll stay stuck. If you program it to say, "I am growing, I am finding solutions, I am stepping into my greatness," suddenly your mind starts rerouting, looking for ways to make those statements reality. Here's the truth. Your mind doesn't argue with you. It takes what you give it. If you say, "I'm terrible at this," your brain says, "Okay, let's prove that true." If you say, "I'm learning and improving every single day," your brain says, "All right, let's find ways to make that happen." So I want you to take a moment right now and think about the words you speak to yourself every day. If you had a friend who talked to you the way you talk to yourself, would you still be friends with them? Would you allow someone else to speak to you with the same criticism, doubt, and negativity that you allow in your own mind? Probably not. So why do you tolerate it from yourself? It's time to change that. It's time to become your own biggest supporter. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement, the same love, the same belief you would give to someone you care about deeply. When a child is learning to walk and they stumble, we don't call them a failure. We don't say, "Wow, look at you falling down again. You'll never get it." No, we cheer for them. We tell them, "You're so close. Try again. You've got this." And because of that encouragement, they get back up. They keep trying. They eventually walk. That's exactly how you need to speak to yourself. Because you are not failing. You are learning. You are not stuck. You are evolving. You are not weak. You are becoming stronger every single day. You have the power to rewire your mind starting right now. You have the power to replace those old limiting beliefs with new empowering ones. You have the ability to shape your reality by choosing better words, stronger words, words that push you forward instead of holding you back. And here's the secret: it won't feel natural at first. Your brain has spent years, maybe even decades, reinforcing the old script. But just like a muscle that hasn't been exercised, your mind needs repetition and consistency. At first, saying "I am unstoppable" might feel like a lie. But if you say it enough, if you flood your mind with it, if you repeat it with conviction, eventually it becomes the truth. Because your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and belief, it simply follows the instructions you give it. So I challenge you, starting today, starting this very moment, to take control of the words you allow into your mind. Speak with power, speak with intention, speak with belief. Because the world will try to tell you who you are. Society will try to put limits on you. People will try to define you. But none of that matters if you decide to define yourself. None of that holds weight if you refuse to accept it. Everything you want, everything you dream of, everything you know deep down you are meant for, starts with the words you choose. So choose wisely, choose boldly, choose words that lift you up, that push you forward, that ignite something inside of you. Because when you change your words, you change your reality. And when you change your reality, you change your life. Life is unpredictable. It will throw challenges at you when you least expect them. It will test your patience, your strength, and your belief in yourself. But here's the truth. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never face obstacles. They are the ones who rise every time they fall. They are the ones who have mastered emotional resilience, the ability to bounce back, to push forward, to take life's hardest punches and still stand tall. Think about the greatest achievers in history. Think about the innovators, the game changers, the ones who disrupted industries, built empires, and left behind legacies that inspired generations. Do you think they never encountered setbacks? Do you think their paths were smooth, free from struggle, free from failure? No. They faced rejection, they faced ridicule, they faced doors slamming shut in their faces, but they did not let that define them. They did not let that stop them. Instead, they used their struggles as fuel to ignite something even greater. Take Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. 1,000 times. Most people would have quit after the first few attempts, maybe the first dozen. They would have convinced themselves that it was impossible, that they weren't good enough, that they weren't meant to succeed, but not Edison. When asked about his failures, he didn't see them as defeats. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Can you imagine having that kind of mindset, that kind of persistence, that kind of emotional resilience? That's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who let life defeat them. The truth is, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Hardships are unavoidable, but giving up is optional. You will get knocked down. Whether it's by circumstances, by people who doubt you, by failures that shake your confidence to its core. But the real question is, how fast will you get back up? How quickly will you decide that this setback is not the end of your story, but just a chapter in your journey? Imagine a boxer in the ring. They don't win by never getting hit. They win by standing back up after every knockdown. They win by refusing to stay on the mat. And that's exactly how you have to approach life. Every challenge, every failure, every moment of doubt is just another punch thrown at you. But as long as you keep rising, as long as you keep moving forward, you are never truly defeated. Think about a time in your own life when you faced something that felt impossible. A time when you thought you couldn't keep going. Maybe it was a personal loss, a failed business, a broken relationship, a dream that seemed too far out of reach. You remember the weight of that moment, don't you? The way it made you feel, like you were sinking, like you couldn't find the strength to keep going. But you did. You made it through. You survived. And if you look back at that moment now, you realize that it didn't break you. It built you. It made you stronger. It shaped the person you are today. So why is it that when the next challenge comes, we sometimes forget how strong we really are? Why do we let fear and doubt creep back in and make us question ourselves? It's because our minds play tricks on us. They try to protect us from pain by convincing us to avoid risks, to stay in our comfort zones, to settle for less than we deserve. But the truth is, the only way to grow, the only way to achieve something extraordinary is to step outside of that comfort zone, to embrace the discomfort, to keep moving forward even when it's hard. Resilience isn't about pretending that challenges don't hurt. It's not about ignoring pain or acting like failures don't affect you. It's about acknowledging them, learning from them, and using them to fuel your next move. It's about deciding that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you will always rise. You have to train your mind to see obstacles as opportunities, to see failures as stepping stones, to understand that every setback is setting you up for a greater comeback. Because when you adopt that mindset, when you refuse to be defeated, there is nothing that can stop you. There are people in this world who will try to tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, that your dreams are too big, your goals are too unrealistic. But here's the thing, those people are not living your life. They are not walking in your shoes. They do not get to decide what you are capable of. You do. You decide whether you let their words break you or fuel you. You decide whether you stay down or rise stronger. You decide whether you accept defeat or turn your pain into power. And I promise you, when you look back at your life years from now, you won't regret the failures. You won't regret the moments that tested you. You will regret the times you let fear stop you, the times you let self-doubt hold you back. The times you gave up on yourself when you were right on the edge of a breakthrough. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who have never been hurt. They are the ones who have been through the fire and came out even stronger. They are the ones who refuse to let their circumstances define them. They are the ones who understood that resilience is a choice and they chose to keep going. So the next time life knocks you down, don't stay there. Rise, adjust, move forward. And remember, every setback is just another step toward your greatest success. Imagine walking into your kitchen every morning and filling your plate with junk, processed sugar, greasy fries, soda packed with chemicals. Now, imagine doing this every single day. What happens? Your body starts to feel sluggish, your energy dips, your mood spirals. Over time, your health deteriorates. You become exhausted, unmotivated, and weighed down. We all know this. We're careful about what we put into our bodies because we understand the impact of food on our physical health. But here's the question. If we're so mindful about what we eat, why aren't we just as mindful about what we feed our minds? Your mind is the control center of your life. It shapes how you think, how you feel, and ultimately how you act. Yet most of us are running on a mental diet filled with negativity, self-doubt, and fear, and we don't even realize it. We scroll through endless news feeds packed with stories designed to trigger anger and despair. We engage in gossip that poisons our relationships. We surround ourselves with people who complain, criticize, and see nothing but obstacles, and we wonder why we feel stuck, uninspired, and anxious. What you consume mentally is just as powerful, if not more so, than what you consume physically. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, it will manifest in your life in ways you don't even recognize until it's too late. Think about a day when you woke up feeling great, ready to take on the world. Then, within minutes of checking your phone, you're hit with bad news, a crisis, a tragedy, something that makes you feel powerless. You log onto social media and see people arguing, comparing their lives, showcasing perfection while you sit there questioning yourself. Maybe you hear someone gossiping at work, tearing down a colleague, and before you know it, you're drawn into the negativity. What happens? Your energy shifts, that motivation you had, gone, your confidence shaken, your mood completely altered. This isn't a coincidence. Your mental diet dictates your mental state. If you want to transform your life, you must first transform what you allow into your mind, and it starts with one simple decision: to be intentional about what you consume. This means cutting out negativity the same way you would cut out toxic foods if you were on a health journey. It means making a conscious effort to seek out positivity, to engage with content that lifts you up instead of dragging you down. It means setting boundaries with people who drain your energy and surrounding yourself with those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward your highest potential. Try this for 1 week, a 7-day mental cleanse. Just 7 days, no negative news. No mindless scrolling through social media that makes you feel inadequate. No engaging in conversations that thrive on tearing others down. Instead, feed your mind with inspiration. Read books that expand your thinking. Listen to motivational talks that light a fire inside of you. Have deep, meaningful conversations with people who challenge you in a way that makes you better. Journal your thoughts and reflect on the shifts happening within you. At the end of those 7 days, take a moment to notice how different you feel. The clarity, the energy, the mental strength. It will be undeniable. What you put into your mind determines what comes out of your life. If you flood your brain with negativity, self-doubt, and fear, then those emotions will dictate your actions, your decisions, and your future. But when you fuel your mind with positivity, ambition, and belief, you will move differently. You will speak differently. You will carry yourself with a confidence that cannot be shaken because you are in control of your inner world. And when you control your inner world, the outer world starts to shift in ways you never imagined. Every single day, you have a choice. You can either let external noise dictate your mindset, or you can take control and choose what you allow in. Protect your mental diet as fiercely as you protect your body, because at the end of the day, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by what you feed your mind. Choose wisely. Most people stay stuck not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they fear discomfort. They cling to the familiar, to the routine, to the safe, never realizing that growth, transformation, and success live just beyond the edge of what feels comfortable. But discomfort isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is changing. It's a signal that you are stretching beyond your current limits, stepping into the unknown, and becoming someone new. Think back to when you were a child learning to ride a bike. You were probably terrified at first, wobbling, gripping the handlebars with all your might, your heart pounding in your chest. The moment you took off the training wheels, that fear intensified. And what happened? You fell. Maybe you scraped your knee. Maybe you cried. But you got back up. You tried again and again, until suddenly one day you weren't just riding, you were flying, feeling the wind in your face, experiencing the pure exhilaration of freedom. And it all started with discomfort. That same principle applies to every aspect of life. Every time you push through fear, self-doubt, or uncertainty, you become stronger. Your capacity expands. You unlock a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. Yet most people stop at the first sign of struggle. They convince themselves that if it feels hard, it must not be meant for them. They talk themselves out of opportunities before they even begin. They let discomfort dictate their destiny instead of using it as a compass toward the life they desire. But what if, instead of resisting discomfort, you embraced it? What if, instead of seeing struggle as a stop sign, you saw it as a green light? Imagine what you could accomplish if you were willing to be uncomfortable for long enough to grow into the person you were meant to be. Consider every great achievement in history. Every groundbreaking invention, every revolutionary idea, every game-changing success story, none of it happened inside the comfort zone. The people who changed the world weren't the ones who played it safe. They were the ones who dared to feel the fear and do it anyway. They were the ones who risked failure, embarrassment, and uncertainty because they believed in something greater than their temporary discomfort. Think of the athlete who trains before the sun rises, enduring pain, exhaustion, and sacrifice for the dream of standing on the podium. Think of the entrepreneur who faces rejection after rejection but refuses to quit because they believe in their vision. Think of the artist who pours their soul onto the canvas, unsure if anyone will ever appreciate their work but unable to silence the voice inside them that says, "Create." They all have one thing in common. They made peace with discomfort. They understood that pain is temporary, but the regret of never trying lasts forever. They realized that growth isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to challenge you, stretch you, and force you to evolve. But here's the secret. The more you lean into discomfort, the less power it has over you. It's like strengthening a muscle. The first time you lift a heavy weight, it feels impossible. Your arms shake, your muscles burn, and you wonder how anyone could possibly do this. But if you keep at it, if you push through the discomfort, your muscles adapt. The weight that once felt unbearable becomes manageable, and before you know it, you're lifting more than you ever thought possible. The same applies to every challenge you face in life. Public speaking, starting a business, chasing a dream, having a difficult conversation. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You will want to quit. Your mind will come up with 1,000 reasons why you should stay in your comfort zone. But if you refuse to give in, if you keep showing up, if you push through the resistance, you will break through to the other side. And when you do, you will realize that discomfort was never the enemy. It was the doorway to everything you ever wanted. So the next time you feel afraid, the next time you want to turn back, remember this. Growth lives outside your comfort zone. The life you want, the person you want to become, the dreams that keep you up at night, they're all waiting for you on the other side of discomfort. And the only way to get there is to embrace it, to lean in, to trust that every moment of struggle is shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Because at the end of the day, you will never regret the discomfort you endured in pursuit of your dreams. But you will regret the dreams you never pursued because you were afraid to be uncomfortable. So choose growth, choose courage, choose discomfort, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined possible. There's an undeniable truth about success that many people ignore. It's not just about talent, hard work, or even opportunity. It's about environment. It's about who you choose to surround yourself with every single day. Because the people in your life are not just companions, they are architects of your future. They shape the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately the way you live. If you surround yourself with people who complain about everything but never take action to change their situation, that negativity will seep into your mind like a slow poison. If you spend your time with people who blame the world for their failures, who refuse to take responsibility, who find an excuse for every opportunity, you will unconsciously adopt that same attitude. And here's the worst part. You won't even realize it's happening. One day, you'll look at your life and wonder why you're stuck, why things aren't moving forward, why you feel drained, uninspired, or lost. And the answer will be right in front of you. It's the people you allowed into your space. Now, think about the most successful, driven, unstoppable people you know. Do you think they spend their days surrounded by doubters, complainers, and excuse makers? Of course not. They have built circles of winners. They have carefully chosen to align themselves with those who inspire, challenge, and elevate them. The people in their lives push them, question them, and refuse to let them settle for mediocrity. They surround themselves with thinkers, problem solvers, and visionaries who don't just talk about dreams, they make them happen. Imagine walking into a room where every single person is thinking bigger than you, where every conversation sparks new ideas, where failure isn't feared but embraced as a lesson, where ambition isn't ridiculed but celebrated. In that room, you don't have to shrink yourself, you don't have to justify your goals or explain why you want more. Instead, you are encouraged, uplifted, and pushed beyond your limits. In that environment, you can't help but grow. But let's be real, changing your circle isn't easy. It requires making tough choices. It means letting go of relationships that may have once felt comfortable but are now holding you back. It means distancing yourself from people who refuse to evolve. And sometimes that's painful because you care about them. You've shared memories, laughter, and maybe even years together. But here's what you need to understand. Your loyalty should never come at the expense of your own growth. You owe it to yourself to step into rooms that force you to rise, not remain stagnant. Some people will guilt trip you for wanting more. They'll call you arrogant, ungrateful, or disloyal. They'll try to pull you back into the comfort zone because that's where they feel safe. But you have to make a decision. Do you want to be liked or do you want to be successful? Do you want to fit in or do you want to level up? Because you can't do both. The moment you start shifting your circle, you will notice a transformation in your mindset. Your energy will change. Your confidence will grow. The conversations you have will ignite new ideas. Your belief in what's possible will expand because you will see people achieving things you once thought were out of reach. You will start thinking differently, acting differently, and showing up differently. And that's when your life will start to change. So here's the challenge. Audit your circle. Take a hard, honest look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they inspiring you or draining you? Are they encouraging you to dream bigger, take risks, and demand more from life? Or are they feeding your doubts, your fears, and your insecurities? And if you realize that you're surrounded by people who don't challenge you, don't inspire you, and don't push you, then it's time to make a change. It's time to start seeking out winners. Connect with people who are where you want to be. Learn from them, absorb their mindset. Align yourself with individuals who force you to raise your standards. Because when you do, success will no longer be a possibility, it will be inevitable. You can have the sharpest mind, the best strategies, and the most well-intentioned plans, but if you don't take action, nothing will change. Absolutely nothing. Because success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who move. Execution is everything. Think about it. The world doesn't reward potential. It doesn't hand out trophies for great ideas that were never acted on. It rewards results. And results only come from action. The difference between someone who is wildly successful and someone who remains stuck in the same place year after year isn't intelligence, luck, or talent. It's their willingness to take action, to do the work, to get up every day and move forward even when they don't feel like it. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest basketball player of all time by sitting on the sidelines thinking about it. He didn't wait for the perfect moment to start training. He put in the work. He practiced harder than anyone else. He failed over and over again, and he kept pushing himself past his own limits every single day. When he missed shots, he took more. When he lost games, he studied his mistakes and came back stronger. He took massive action, and that's why he became the greatest, not because of his natural ability, but because he was relentless. And yet, so many of us sit around waiting for the right time, waiting for the fear to go away, waiting until we feel ready. But let me tell you something, there is no perfect time. You will never feel completely ready. Fear is not a sign to stop, it's a sign to move. The only way to get past fear is to act in spite of it. The only way to feel confident is to take action before you feel confident. You cannot think your way into success. You must act your way into it. Right now, you have everything you need to get started. You don't need more knowledge, more certifications, or more validation. You don't need permission. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who waited until they were 100% ready. They are the ones who started before they were ready. They took messy action, failed, adjusted, and kept going. Success is built in the trenches of daily action, not in the perfect plan that never gets executed. And here's the truth. Action creates momentum. The hardest part is getting started, but once you do, something powerful happens. The more you move, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the bigger risks you take. The bigger the risks, the bigger the rewards. It's a cycle. And it all starts with taking that first step. People love to talk about their goals, to dream about the future, to visualize what they want. And visualization is great. But visualization without action is just a fantasy. You have to back it up with execution. Every single day you have a choice. You can stay where you are, or you can take action toward where you want to be. And every single day that you choose action, you are building mental strength. You are training yourself to be the kind of person who follows through, who does what they say they're going to do, who doesn't just dream but executes. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. If you rely on motivation, you will never be consistent. Instead, rely on discipline. Make action a habit. Make execution your default mode. Wake up and decide that no matter how you feel, no matter what obstacles come your way, you are going to take action. And not just any action, massive action. The kind of action that stretches you, that pushes you beyond your comfort zone, that forces you to grow. And let's be clear, taking action doesn't mean you won't fail. You will fail, a lot. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to get better. The only true failure is not trying at all. The only way you lose is if you stop. So what is it that you've been putting off? What is that thing you've been telling yourself you'll do someday? Someday is not a day on the calendar. Someday is an excuse. The time is now. Start before you're ready. Take one step today, then another tomorrow. Keep going, keep building, keep executing, because execution is everything. And the only way to change your life is to take action,